Hey everybody, it's been a while since we did a math video, but we actually have a new concept this week. Today, for Thursday, on page 239, we're going to do 1 through 4, and our new concept is reducing. So we have been reducing a little bit when it says, divide, but reduce by 3, or reduce by 4, or reduce by 2, or whatever it might have been. But this time we're going to look at it and we're going to concentrate on looking at 2 through 4 because I know that you guys can do 1 by yourselves. But for 2, it says circle the number to use to reduce the fraction. Circle the best number to use to reduce the fraction. So we have 4/8, and then there's 2 numbers that we could use to reduce the fraction. There's a 2 and there's a 4. Now, let's look at these numbers. When we reduce, we know that we take the fraction and we take the number and we divide the top and the bottom by that number. So 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. So we have 2/4 is what we would get if we reduced it by 2. But let's look and see what we would get if we reduced it by 4. So 4/8 divided by 4 over 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2. Now, the way that we can tell that it is the best number to use to reduce our fractions by is by which one is the smallest. They're both the same. If you look at the top of the page, you can see that 4/8 equals 1/2 on that top part there, where it says reducing fractions, what we're doing. So we know that 4/8 equals 1/2. So we know that 2/4 equals 1/2. 3/6 would also equal 1/2. The point is that whatever the lowest fraction you get from your reducing, that's the one that is the best. So what that means is I'm going to look at the larger number first and see if that works. So for A, I would look at 4 and I'd say, okay, well 4, I'm going to see if that one will go into both 4 and 8. And I know that it does. Then let's look at letter C. So we have 8 over 10, and the numbers that it gives us are 2 and 4 again. Okay, now I'm going to say, I already know that it can be divided by 2 because they're both even, but I'm going to say, okay, I know that one would work. But let's look at 4. Well, 4 go evenly into 8 and 10. So let's look at 10 first. 10 divided by 4. 10 divided by 4 would be 2 with a remainder of 2. So we can't do that. We have to make sure that whatever number that we choose evenly goes into both the top and the bottom number. So I know that it would be 2 because I know 2 goes into 8 4 times and 2 goes into 10 5 times. Okay? So that's what we would do for number 2. Just go through and look what number would be the best one. We have to look and say, you look at 2 different things. You look and see, 1, which would give us the lowest fraction, and 2, which numbers actually work. So if the number doesn't work, like 4 doesn't work in this case, it can't happen. But like with A, we had 2 and 4. 4 does work, and it gives us the lower fraction of 1/2. So, might be confusing. I'm trying to be as clear as possible, but always reach out if you have any questions. We're going to look at number 3 now, though. So we have 8 over 12. 8/12. And it says, list the numbers you could use to reduce the fraction. Circle the best choice. So, again, we're going to circle the one that will give us the lower fraction in the end. But we can look at number a, okay? We know that because both top and bottom are even, 2 will work. And then it gives us one more space. And what I would do, you can say 2, okay, will 3 work? Is 8 divided by, can you divide 8 by 3? No. So 3 won't work. What about 4? Will 4 work? 4 goes into 8 twice. 4 goes into 12 3 times. So we know the answers would be 2 and 4. And because of what we learned at the top, because they're both divisible, the one that will give us the lower fraction will be the larger number. So we're going to circle 4. And look at B. B, we have 9 over 18. Oh, 9 over 18. Okay. So it's not divisible by 2 because 9 is an odd number. So I would go to 3. 3 is 9 divisible by 3? Yes, because 3 times 3 is 9. 18 divisible by 3? Yes, it is. So 3 times 6 is 18. We're going to then look and say, okay, 4. 4 won't because it's an even number. 5 won't because 5 plus 5 is 10. And you just keep going on. 6 won't, 7 won't. And because we already passed the midway point for 9, we'll just jump up to 9. Once you get to 4, once you hit 5, if you double 5, you're going to get 10. So you just jump up to 9. So 9 divided by 9 is 1. 18 divided by 9 is 2. So you get 1/2. So we know, again, because it's the larger number, you're going to circle 9. Okay? So do your best on C and D. And I'm not going to have you guys input the answers on this one. I'm just going to have you turn in the paper. Okay? Because it's a lot of brain work. I don't want you to have to exert yourselves by putting it all in the computer as well. Okay, number 4. Now we're going to try and just reduce the fraction to the lowest in its lowest terms. So we went easy from number 2, semi-easy, number 3 on here. It was a little harder. Now we're number 4. Number 4a, we have 8 over 12. So 8 over 12, what can this be reduced to in lowest terms? So again, I'm going to start and say 2. They both can be divided by 2 because they're both even. So if I divide them both by 2, I'd get 4 over 6. All right, then I'm going to write 8 twelfths over here again. So we have 4 6. Well, what about 3? 8's not divisible by 3. What about 4? Okay. 8 divided by 4 equals, let's see, 8 divided by 4 equals 2. And then we say, okay, well, what about 12? 12 divided by 4 equals 3. So we have 2/3. You get this low, when you get down to thirds, you're not going to be able to go any lower than that. We know that we're not going to be able to divide anything else into there, so we know that it's going to be 2/3, and that's all you have to write down on that line is 2/3. Then look at B. B, we kind of already did when we did number 3. We saw that, what was it divisible by? 3 and 9. So we're going to take the lowest terms that we said before, which would bring it to 1/2, right? So 9/18 equals 1/2. C, you're going to look, again, you can look at what we did before. And this is the thing, is you can, to make it easier on you, if you need it easier for you, you can always do what we have in the top and draw the circles. Okay? You can always draw the circles and divide them and say, okay, I'm going to try to draw this into like for 4/8. I'm going to try to draw this into 8 equal parts. All right. There's 8 equal parts. Now it says 4/8. So I'm going to cover that. And if this works for you, then you can just look at it and say, okay, well, that's easy. Because that's 1/2. Okay? Eventually, you're going to need to know how to, you're learning it as we go along anyway with dividing each. But if this helps you, especially for number 4, then go ahead and try with the circle. Okay? So we've gone over at least half of them. And I want you guys to try your best on the rest of them. All right? And again, if you have questions, I know this one's not super easy. It's a new concept, but I'm not going to grade super hard on it, all right? So just try your best, and we'll check it out and see how you did, all right? Have a good one. Bye.